You are now tuned into 2111 Radio Show, hosted by our program director, Derrick Scott.
So what's up, guys? We're back, Coast to Coast TV.
So, you asked about Gabe earlier. I had one.
Speaking of Gabe,
yeah. Shout out to Gabe Costa, man, super producer.
Gabe,
At the time, me and my team had flew out to New York to do some records with Rockwilder, for Mary J's album.
Yeah.
So we're working with Rockwilder, Eric Sermon.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? We're at their studio, and we had one free night. And at the time, shout out to Bridget Berlin, my manager at the time. She said, yo, I need you to come to Brooklyn. I got this producer. I want you to go write a record for a Latin artist. Because they had already been telling me, yo, we having these meetings with these different labels. They love what you're doing, but they want to know, can you do Spanish music? And I'm like, nah, right. I'm not doing Spanish music. So shout out to Bridget Berlin. So she said, yo, I need you in the studio. You got to go write the song. Cool. I get to the studio like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning after leaving Rockwilder studio. And I met Gabe. Gabe was the producer. So I ain't think nothing of it. I'm there writing a song, you know what I'm saying? My first time ever, literally ever singing in Spanish. And I'm rapping in Spanish, of course. And I cut the record, you know what I'm saying? We're there for like 2 or 3 hours. I cut the record, literally lost my voice on the last take. And as I'm like, look, I'm done. I can't do anything else. I put the headphones up. Gabe rushes into the booth and he's like, yo, I want to produce your whole album. And I was like, huh? I was like, bro, I don't yeah, I was like, I don't do Spanish music, bro. He's like, that's not what the manager just told me. So when I walked out, she's like, yeah, so this record's not for nobody. It's really for you. And I'm like, what? And wow. that's how my journey from hip hop to being a rap started.
It was literally That's still crazy.
Yo, welcome to the 2111 Radio Show. I'm your host, Derrick Scott. And as advertised, I got my man Gabe Costa. How you doing today?
Good, man. Doing great. Listen, crazy week.
Listen, it's been an honor. That's how everything got started. We wanted to finish this story. You understand? Because
right.
We was talking about it, and I found out about you and him, and I said, you know what? Let me do a little digging. And then when he told me that story, I saw it and I said, you know what? I'm going to have him come up here to finish the story because there's a lot more to the story. He couldn't finish it, but that's why
it's crazy, right? I mean, I think we both got tricked, right?
Pretty much.
Yeah, because it's like I was introduced to Nova through my manager. I still work with A&R artist manager Jamal Mobley.
Okay.
He's put me in the studio with a lot of different artists, and back in 2018, I was like late. Yeah, it was late 2018. This happened with Nova, and he was like, "I got this Latin artist I want you to work with. Come by, pass by the studio in Brooklyn." So we did that, and I get in the session, and I was having like, I posted on social media about this, but we were having like a family member, my sister-in-law was passing away from cancer at the time. So we were like, my whole family was like fighting like a 3-year battle of cancer, you know? So like when I was in the session with Nova, we were in the hospital every day, basically, you know? And I literally took the session with Nova just to like step out. And, you know, like music is our therapy, you know? It's like, it's just the way we escape, get things off our chest. So I went in the studio with like sort of like that mindset. So I wanted to make something fun, you know? We're making Latin music. I'm thinking like Miami vibes, reggaeton, stuff like that, you know? And that's the type of record we ended up making.
Okay.
Which was dope. But like I said, I was introduced to Nova as a Latin artist. So I thought this was like his regular thing, you know? But then come to find out, like he was like, we were just like put together. But it worked out great. I mean, we've been working together ever since. So
yeah, listen, let me tell you something. And kudos to you because like he was saying, he never did Spanish music. He was just rapping, you know, regular rapping. So you kind of like helped him out with that because the manager had to trick him.
Right.
And he actually wrote his own song.
Right.
And, you know, to me, I think that that actually catapulted him in a certain way because now, he's International Nova is hot. I'm sorry. He really
that's the thing. I came. His name is International Nova, so I
See,
came in with the mindset of making international music, but again, I understand like we're all from like like New York area. We're like born and raised hip hop, so it's like
yeah,
sometimes the Latin artists are like reluctant to just like straight up jump into Latin music, even though like he probably grew up speaking Spanish his whole life and stuff like that. It's almost
see,
like nowadays Latin music is so big, it's almost like hard to escape it in a sense,
it is.
like
It is because we have a lot of Latin music on 2111 radio. And
right.
his song actually, I think is called Controller. I think that came like number 11 on the 2111 radio top.
Dope. Yeah, that's one of the ones I helped with too originally. Yeah.
Dope Sonics on that. Oh my
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You are I've been listening to your music, all right? So it's not
Thank
just
you, man.
a song. I'm listening to the actual mixes.
That's what's up.
My goodness.
I appreciate it.
So it's like you have a style of your own. So,
right. I mean, years in the making, right? Like it's kind of like when you first start like producing engineering, you're just trying to like imitate all your favorite stuff, and then eventually like years later you develop your own sound, and you start to like innovate, I feel like that's where we're at. So
yeah, you definitely listen. And I'm happy because like I said, I'm one of the first people, that really wanted to get you up here to talk about your career because you do have a career. And
I appreciate it, man.
Engineers and producers / don't really get no credit.
Yeah, I appreciate you shining the light on that too, man. I was gonna tell you that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because we are treated like a lot of the times we're like we're like the background guys.
Like come on, man. Listen, I know talent when I see it.
I appreciate
it. And I've been listening to your music all week. And I said, you know what, we're gonna get this man up here because again, your story needs to be told. So now did I find out if I'm correct? You're from Brooklyn, bro?
No, I'm not from Brooklyn. That's where we had the session with Nova.
Okay, so where are you originally from?
I was actually born in Brazil. So I was born in Brazil. I came,
nice.
I came here. I was born in Rio. I came here at like a very young age, like 5 years old.
Okay.
And then stayed with my cousins in like the Bronx for a while. Then moved to Jersey. Been moving around Jersey ever since. My house, my crib here is in Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was it 5 years old? Mr. Costa walking around the neighborhood. How was it growing up in Jersey?
Dude, like we have like a typical sort of like immigrant story, I would say, like
no problem.
My mother came here as like a single mother, just me and my brother, trying to make a better life for themselves, ourselves. So, like trying to get settled, trying to get employment, best place to stay, best place to work. Man, I remember like sleeping on immigration lines in Newark and stuff like this. Like you just trying to get paperwork right and stuff like that. Like, so it's like, but it's like, it sounds crazy, but when you speak to other immigrants, it's sort of like a typical.
Yeah, it's a typical thing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For me, it's like, oh shit. Like, yeah. It's crazy, but I'm glad you're here because you're here with me right now.
Yeah.
So,
and then growing up here in New York, New Jersey, it's just like, again, hip hop was everything, especially like in the 90s, like late 80s, early 90s. Like 80s is like kind of like before my time, but like, it's built into the 90s, early 2000s. And it's just like hip hop was everything. That's what we all came up on.
Oh, yeah. And, Latin artists don't get the credit they're due either. That's another thing that I don't really appreciate because when you talk about hip hop, you really talk about the Hispanic artists that's actually paved the way as well. They involved too. You understand? You got the Fat Joes, you got the Big Pun, and then it kind of stops in a way. It kind of stops. People don't respect the rest of them, but they're there. Like
right. And they kind of always been there, yeah.
They always been there, Yeah. So I'm
even if you do your history, like Whole Crush and stuff like that, I believe they had like a couple Puerto Ricans in the crew and stuff like that.
Yes, they did. Exactly. They're not just damn break dance guys, y'all. They artists. Because you start breakdancing, then everybody starts talking. Yeah, the Latinos, they was, even though I'm not even gonna lie, they was killing it. Not even gonna lie.
Right.
Listen, damn it, that breakdancing thing, I'm not even gonna front. I could never do it.
Right.
Never do it. But
Right.
damn, they brought that shit to a whole new level. You understand?
Right.
So
Right.
to me, like I said, they are part of this, and I always wanted to make sure that I salute them. But you,
Right.
my friend, like I said, you've been you've been doing a lot of work over the years.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And like I said, we started hip hop, but like I give a lot of credit to like Jamaican culture too. Like I feel like they contributed a lot to hip hop. The everything and all the like I don't know if you saw like a recent lawsuit going on, but there's a Shabba Ranks record called Dembo that
Yeah.
the original producers like literally just came out and like tried to sue like the whole genre of reggaeton essentially. You know, it's like it's crazy. I don't know if they're gonna win that lawsuit. It's like a crazy
I don't think
lawsuit.
it's gonna win.
Yeah, but the thing is that that early dance hall did influence all the genres we
yeah.
have in Latin music now, you know? It's like
I can believe that.
yeah, it's reggaeton comes from that, dembo. I don't know
Yep.
if you listen to dembo music and
Yeah,
yeah, so that's all comes from like 90s dance hall stuff that we were playing,
it is.
all those rhythms we were playing at the time, you know. And when I say we were playing, it's because I started as a DJ. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
that.
Yeah, I
And
don't know
it's
if I mentioned that. Yeah.
it's a perfect segue because you was a DJ at first and
Yeah.
used to kind of remix popular songs as you DJ because that's what
Right.
we do. I used to be a DJ too, and we
Oh, that's what's
wanted
up.
to make it's like we wanted to make the songs better. So
Right.
let's put our little
Right.
touch to it to make it better and extend it.
Even prior to that, man, like I was just like, dude, I was just as far back as I can remember, I really never done anything else. And 8 years old, 10 years old, 12, like
See?
by 13 years old, I was already like buying vinyl and like
See?
so we're just like digging for new music and exclusives and then making mixtapes and tapes and
Yes.
just like initially DJing just starts with like you just have all this cool music and you want to put it together and share it with people, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's how it kind of started, and then it's just like it develops from there, you know. And then once you're out like playing in front of everybody, you start to get a good feel for what a good arrangement is, what people are reacting to.
Yeah.
And then you just, you know, it's like a natural transition into producer. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
It really is because, you know, like I said, I used to DJ too. So I know how to keep a crowd on the floor.
Right.
So you have to have a certain regiment where you could keep everybody on the floor. Because once you play the wrong song, everybody's going to sit down.
Right.
So
and that's learning the hard way. We do that too, you know. Like sometimes we learn the hard way.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna ask you a question. Was you a mix type DJ, like do a lot of blends, or was you
I was like straight up like I said, hip hop. Like, dude, I didn't even care about doing parties, and I was like more like a battle DJ. So I come from more like you see, like I got turntables here in the background. I still got I got thousands of vinyl in my house. I still collect vinyl and stuff.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I was like straight up turntablist, like behind the back and tricks.
Yeah,
So like when I was a teenager in high school, I was just straight up battling, you know.
Damn.
And so I gained like popularity like locally, like New York, New Jersey through that, you know, just like battling and being out there. And then people are just like, hey, come play at this party, or hey,
there it is.
Come do this club, you know.
Listen, let me tell you something. I thought I was the shit until I went to the New Music Seminar back in the days. They used to do this in Manhattan.
Right.
And all the best DJs across the country used to come. And I think I lost it in the third round or the fourth round. And the one person I saw that I knew I wasn't going to beat is DJ Scratch.
Wow.
Yeah,
he's still one of the he's nasty, man. Yeah.
I said, nasty. Thank God I lost that round.
Yeah, he's nasty. Till this day, he's nasty, man.
He is still nasty. So
he's like probably like one of the top 5 to me that's still like keeping that, but along with like Jazzy Jeff and some other people, you know. But like
Jazzy Jeff still killing it. What the hell?
Yeah,
unbelievable. So
I was actually influenced. I don't know if you know like of like the X-Men and Rock Raider and stuff like that. Like you know, yeah. So like when I was super young, I got my hands on some like Rock Raider tapes, and that's really the one that like really inspired me. So, yeah. I was talking to, I don't know if you know, but I did a record with Fatman Scoop, and he's from Harlem. So we were talking, we were talking something like Harlem history, and
you talking about this guy?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I've been to Scoop. I've met Scoop years ago. One of the coolest guys I've ever met.
Yeah. It was really nice.
You know, he was basically giving us a lot of gems when I was younger, and you know, it worked out. But you know, me personally, I just got into the wrong production. I used to work at Jimmy Henchman and them, and they kind of screwed us over anyway. So
really? Oh,
yeah,
you were producing too?
yeah, I was a producer. I was a producer at
nice.
Jimmy Henchman and them. So I just
Nice.
it got to a point where it's like it's not paying the bills. I have to go get me a job and take care of my family. You know what I'm saying?
Of course,
But
yeah.
I still love music, so I know
Absolutely.
certain things when I hear it. And this song that you did with Fatman Scoop, I actually have the video.
Oh, you do? Cool.
I have the video. Yes, I have the video.
I could tell you the whole story how that came together.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play the video. Y'all gonna get the first part of this, and then we're gonna get him to tell the story, all right, about the whole situation. So check this video out. This video is crazy. Check this out.
Oh, we about to get it in the club. We about to get it in the club. We about to get it in the club. Let's go.
Girl, your body got me so long. Acting like a girl, you're so wrong. Them legs look so long. Let me climb up to your thong. Don't hit me with the neck roll, cause I ain't even trying to let go. Little mama, cause you're too grown. So put the booty on me.
Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me. Put the booty on me.
You got the boys online cause that ass too pretty. They better grab a ticket, gotta wait just to see it. One taste of that thing and then move it to your city. Waist on fleek, eyes on sheet, eyes on me. Get ready, me gusta tu boca. I love your physique, I love them titties bouncing on me. I got everybody mad cause you're leaving with me. Girl, you're too
If you
grown.
a bad bitch, let me hear about it.
If you
If you a
grown.
bad bitch, let me hear about it.
If you
If you a
grown.
bad bitch, let me hear you shout it. Break your hips.
Mama, shake that shit. Get it. Get it.
Break the bone off the hip.
Let's go.
Hey. Break the bone off
Mama,
the
shake
hip.
that shit.
I like that video a lot, man. That's a dope video.
Yo, that video is crazy.
Yeah, Frankie killed that. Shout out to Frankie Zulferino. He's like a pop artist that I work with very often.
He's dope. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. He's dope. He's really dope, man.
So now, how did this situation happen with Fatman Scoop?
So it's a long story. So
Don't worry about it. Go for it.
Okay, so here we go. So first I just made the record originally with Frankie without Fatman Scoop, and we were working with a songwriter, really dope songwriter. Her name is Aritza Laws. Shout out to Aritza. She's written for Michael Jackson before, Whitney Houston. So Frankie called her over to my crib. She helped write the record, right? But the record had very much like because Frankie's a choreographer and a dancer as well, as you can see like in the video.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's very like big into early 2000s kind of pop, like let's say like Missy Elliott, Justin Timberlake, these kind of things, So we made a record like along those lines, and he wanted to do like a lot of crazy dancing in the video. But like for me, it was very much like Missy Elliott, Timberland influence. So I kind of like I saw Fatman Scoop doing an interview.
Oh,
and I don't know if he was doing like an online radio thing. He was just talking about like his brother and like the way God worked in his life and like how he got his first hit record and stuff like that. And I was like, you know what? Like, dude, I was just like, I just took a shot and I was like, sent him the record and I was like, yo, I want you on this record. Like, let me know what you think, And he hit us back, loved the record, and that was it. That was that, And then we set up a session in Rahway, New Jersey. Shout out to engineer friend of mine that helps with a lot of records. His name's EJ. With Inspiration Audio. I want to shout that out. But we went over to his studio in Rahway, and that was it. Then we kind of like put the finishing touches on it. Then they flew everybody to LA. I wasn't able to make the LA trip. They flew that was also 2018, which was a hectic year for me because, like I said, I have a family member that had cancer at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, again, I'm in the hospital. I'm watching like people dance to this record all over the world, and it's just like that was actually like lifting my spirits too at that time.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Damn.
So we flew Fatman Scoop out to LA, and Frankie did all the choreography. They had a bunch of like viral dancers in the video. The one girl that's like the main chick in the video with Frankie, she's danced for like Nicki Minaj before and stuff like that. So he got a bunch of like viral dancers, and they just went crazy on the video. I still love that song in that video. And of course you hear all the like Brazilian drums, the samba drums, and all the influence.
You made them pop. See, again, what we're talking about is the sonics of music, and you made those drums sound live. Like I'm asking you a question. Was those live drums, or you just made them sound that way?
It's a combination of both because, like you said, it's dope that you hear like all the influence because that's like Brazilian music, like samba drums. That stuff is like that's hard to replicate like on software. Like that's like it could be like 10, 20 people beating on drums and it sounds the way that it sounds. So I have a lot of like sample banks of that stuff. And then I just did like some typical like hip hop kind of like poppy drums. So it's just a mix of like Brazilian hip hop and pop. And we just kind of like went crazy,
Yes, you did. Let me give you a round of applause.
Thank you, man.
Crazy.
Thank you. Oh, I got the scratch in it too. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I heard you. Oh,
yeah. That was me cutting up in that too. Yeah,
killing it. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen.
And you never get to cut up in records anymore, so I appreciate that too.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Like this was the essence of hip hop. They don't be scratched no more. Like what is going on? So I definitely appreciated that part when I heard it. I was like, oh, is he scratching? Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So
that was fun. That was fun to make.
So you've made music, you've done mixes and produced some of a lot of famous people, a lot of credits. So I do have a list because I don't want to just splat them out without without memorizing them. So I wrote a little down so that we saw Fatman Scoop. You got something with Pitbull, Be Real, as advertised, International Nova.
Yeah, of course.
Chris Porter, amongst a lot more of these artists, and
the Chris Porter record was the record with Pitbull.
Yeah, and that that's crazy, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that got a lot of that. That's kind of like what helped. Like that was maybe 2016, 15 or something like that. That
I
kind of
remember
like
that.
Yeah, that kind of like boosted my career as far as like engineer and producer and stuff like that. I started getting a little more demand after that.
Nah, man,
but that record's still streaming, man. Still streams well because it's big in like gyms and dance studios and like that Zumba kind of stuff. So it's like, and Pitbull killed that verse too. Like we didn't expect that. Like when we got this is how that went. Like so. We kind of had the record done too. This is how like Chris Porter already had like the original version of the record.
Okay.
But then we find out last minute that so the original version of the record basically got signed. They got signed to a DJ White Shadow, who's Lady Gaga's producer. So he was starting his own label. The guy is like really connected in the industry, has a lot of credits and credentials, and was able to get Pitbull on it. And Pitbull said he's down to do it. And we get the verse like, I don't know, Pitbull's manager sent me the verse like at midnight or something like that.
Oh.
And Chris Porter hits me up. He's like, yo, we got the verse. And we got to get this done. And so I'm like, yeah. So he hit me up. Good friend of mine, like since we were a little kid, actually. But he hits me up. He's like, yo, we got to get this done. So of course, like, I'll probably got to get up like 7 o'clock in the morning for my kids.
No doubt.
But this is like midnight. We just got the verse, and he was like, "Bro, you got to finish this mix." And then so I remember me and him stayed up. I think we were on like on Zoom or something like this, or FaceTime. Stayed up till 5 o'clock in the morning, getting this mix right, back and forth. By the next morning, it was done. And then we sent it out to mastering, and that was it.
That's crazy. That's a crazy story because again, a lot of people don't get the chance to work with a guy like Pitbull.
Yeah, man, it's a blessing, dude. Thank God, I get these opportunities. But like, we weren't even in the studio with him. But that happens. I mean, like modern recording, that happens a lot. They just recorded in Miami, send it to us, and that's it.
And since the pandemic, a lot of people has been doing it just like that now.
Right. People got really used to doing that,
Send those raw stems over here, and we could just get this mix and master and get it out of the way.
I mean, it's very efficient, but to me, I try to still, like, I was just at Nova's crib like 2 weeks ago because he had to finish, like, he wanted to just put some finishing touches on the album, add some extra songs.
Yeah.
And to me, there's nothing like, I still like going around the country, going to different studios, being in the studio with people.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something that we have to do like through email and sending out files, that's cool too. Like I did a record with this girl, Nouri. She's from New Zealand. I've never even met Nouri. You know what I mean? A friend of mine started a label. Big shout out to Sam Koch. He was somebody that I mentored, and then like years later started his own label, which is like amazing. And started signing some different artists. That was the first thing on the label. He hit me up. So he was like, you got to help me finish this.
I know that's
That was this year, and it went number 1 on iTunes in New Zealand.
Wow.
And I never even met Nouri. Seems like cool people, from what I've experienced on social media. But
So
yeah.
now,
she recorded that in Dubai. Sorry, not to cut you off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
So
recorded it in Dubai and sent us the session.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Technology is crazy now.
Yeah,
back in my days, we didn't do it like that. You literally had to be in the studio. Like that's
exactly, man. And but like you said, like you mentioned, also we already had the technology, but COVID made everyone like accustomed to doing things that way.
Oh yeah. So now the song that we talking about, if I'm not mistaken, is this the plaque for it?
That's the Water Dance. Yeah. That's
Water Dance, right?
Chris Porter and Pitbull. Yeah.
Damn, does that say? And for those who can't see this, it says 120 million.
Yeah, because at the time, the stream, and that's like a cumulative, of course. That's like YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, and like I said, it keeps streaming. Like the millions keep going up on Spotify.
Oh, yeah,
so it's
still
like,
going up. And when did that happen? When did you get that plaque?
I probably like when I first started this. So I again back to COVID.
Yeah,
I was telling you before we cut on that I built the studio in my crib like 2020 when COVID was like really bad,
Yeah.
So it was done. The studio was done by like early 2021. So we built it like late 2020. It was done by 2021. So I probably got that plaque like sometime early 2021 or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you something. It's definitely way over 120 million now. I guarantee you that.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track because like that video, what happened was there was I'm forgetting her name, man. It sucks I'm forgetting her name, but like once the choreographers and all these viral dancers get their hands on it, it like starts going crazy. So it's like it's almost like hard to keep track of the streams at this point.
Yes,
so
it's ridiculous. So we actually have that video. Check that out, y'all.
Oh, the Trisha Miranda one?
No, the one with Chris Porter and Pitbull.
Oh, the one where I think I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, we actually had that video. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a little bit of it, and then we'll come back and we'll finish the story about this amazing collaboration. This is a dope song. I remember this song. I just didn't know you mixed it. I'm sorry, I just didn't.
Yeah. No, I worked on it. Yeah.
I had
it was playing all over the country on the radio.
Yes, hell yeah. I was in New York, so it was definitely playing in New York like crazy on Hot 97, Kiss FM, and all these other stations.
Yeah,
so.
They had a pop station. It went number 1 on a pop station out here too. 92.3 now at the time.
See, exactly.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to this, and we'll come back with my man Gabe Costa. That's his thing. I keep messing your name up. It's Costa. All right, so we're gonna come back real quick. Check this out, y'all.
Chris Porter, Mr. Worldwide. We want all the sexy women on the dance floor shaking their ass. Now hit the water dance.
Funky, everything funky. Big gap, turn around, show me a donkey. Oh my lord, that's a whole lot of junkie. I can tell you from a whole nother country. I am a drug, so I know a whole lot of junkies. In the club, chilling with a whole lot of drunkies. Funny fun, when it come to girls, I know plenty dumb. Fat ones, skinny ones, all of my 21. Woo! We got the two say drippin'. She looking at me like you say trippin'. Dolce and Gabbana bag, got a young Madonna here. She gon' twerk her body till her body need Obamacare. Do it for the vine, do it for the grand, do it for the couple $100 in my hand. No discrimination if you're heavy in the middle or you only got a little. Go ahead and make a jiggle. Go. Ain't no party like the East Coast party with a West Coast chick that got a down south body. Bounce that body, bounce that body, bounce that body, bounce that body. Do the water dance, girl. Do the.
Yeah, that's another fun one. Yeah, that's her name, Trisha Miranda. The choreographer that did that.
Yeah, that was the choreographer one. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The Sonics, like I said, on that beat, I don't understand. I've listened to a lot of music over the years, and the clarity that you have with your mixes is ridiculous. I'm not understanding.
I appreciate that.
So clear and bassy. Has this dope ass bottom to them. Every song that I've listened to so far from your catalog is just everything is so damn.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
How do that even, like I said, I don't know too much about mixing. I really don't. It's to me it's an art. To me,
Definitely.
I feel it's an art. It's an art, and everybody can't do it.
Definitely, and not everyone has the patience. Like I tell everybody, when you're like the producer, engineer, you're helping write the song, dude. You're really like the first one to open the studio and the last one to leave. Like the artists are the superstars. They could pop in for like an hour or two. But like, dude, you are there, like, especially if you're like the engineer, like, shout out like all the recording engineers, like, you open the studio, you turn on all the equipment, you make sure everything is clean and comfortable for the artist. You do the whole session. When the session's done, everybody goes home. You're the one that's, you know what I mean, cleaning up the session again, or maybe you got an intern or assistant that's helping you do all of this.
Yeah.
And then you lock up, you know, we're the first one there and the last one to leave.
Last one on the leave. And people take it for granted, like I said, because y'all behind the scenes and nobody really looks at the part of who mixed it, who mastered it, or whatever it is. And
Right.
you know, my thing is, without you guys, this music ain't gonna sound nothing like it sounds now.
Right.
Could you imagine if
Yeah.
people just made music with raw vocals and raw music?
Right.
I don't think people understand the quality of what you guys accomplish. And
Yeah, and I've noticed like throughout music history, the
Uh-huh.
producers that get the most attention are usually like if you think about like Timberland, Pharrell, Kanye,
Yeah.
Swiss Beats, these people get on records themselves and they rap as well, and it's like that makes them more like, you know, like more of a face, more of a personality. So those names are like the bigger names that are very much known. But then how about all the other guys that, you know, like I don't rap and I don't sing, so it's like I'm really like the background dude, you know. So it's like
you kind of like the meat and potatoes of the beat, because of what people don't understand. Anybody could make a beat, but the engineer literally puts everything together.
right.
Everything. You could be the dopest producer in the world, but if that mix ain't right,
It can make or break it. Yeah, 100%.
you understand? And there's a lot of young artists out here now. They bring music to 2111 radio. I'll be like, I can't put this on the radio because
Simply because it's not mixed and mastered correctly.
I make the master correctly. And,
Be that artist.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like invest in that mix and that master. You know,
gotta invest in. You know, to me, it's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's definitely, if you're into this music thing, it's definitely worth it.
Yeah, and shout out to recently, like this summer, I don't know if you saw it, but I became part of Engineers, which is a engineer like online community started by Mixed by Ali. Mixed by Ali does like Kendrick and SZA, like all the TDE stuff, you know.
Oh,
he's an LA dude. So I had a Zoom call with him and like some of their community and their team.
Nice.
And I jumped on board this summer. So it's like it gives people, like everyday people, access to, you know, like industry engineers, you know, like you said, sometimes it can be pricey, but if you wanna save up and make the investment, it's worth it. You know what I mean? And it's like, so they have this global online engineer community, and it's been really dope, man. I'm like really happy with it.
Oh wow, check that
out. Yeah, so you can find me there if you go to engineers.com, just look up that Costa Sound and I'm there.
Well, I could talk to you anyway. I'm good now. I got your information. I'm definitely hit you up because all jokes aside, man, it's a lot. It's a lot goes into what you do. It's hard work, like you said. You're the first guy in and the last one to leave.
Absolutely.
And
like I'm doing like the past 2 weeks I've been doing like 14-hour days. You know, it's like
exactly. People don't understand being an engineer. Wow.
Yeah, dude, it's not as like glamorous as like the Instagram highlights. You know what I'm saying? On Instagram it looks cool, but
difficulties.
Yeah, I think you froze for a second.
Yeah, we have some technical difficulties. Oh, there we go. We good.
You back?
You see me now? All right, cool. Yeah, I was having some technical difficulties. So, but you definitely one of the top. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
I can hear you. So you're definitely one of the top engineers that I've heard. So I do have a question. Man. I usually ask artist questions, but I'm not going to do that to you because this is something that I want you to really think about before you answer it. Okay.
Okay.
Has there been a hit record that you've heard that you felt that you could mix better than it was actually originally done? And what record?
Wow, that's a good question. Mix better. I mean, there's definitely records that I hear that I'm like, that inspire me, that I'm like, I wish I worked on that. And there's records now that I'm starting to like like people are starting to get more familiar with my sound. Like there'll be records on the radio where people will hit me and be like, "Yo, did you work on that record?" And I'm like, "I wish." Like
I know that's
like, yeah. So there's a lot of great sonics out there, man. To be honest with you, but as far as like, that's a good question. Let me think about that for a minute. Yeah, like one that I could have mixed better. That's an
you
interesting
felt
question.
you could have just put your stank on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, man. I have to think. I'll think about that though. Hopefully I have an answer by the end of the show. Yeah.
Okay, so now the next question before you answer that one, the next question I have is okay. So top 5 producers,
Like all time ever,
all time,
any genre.
any genre, doesn't matter.
I mean, man, I started to. So again, we're being from New York, New Jersey. We're like hip hop heads, right? So it's like the birthplace of hip hop and the boom bap and stuff like that. Like I grew up listening to like producers like RZA and Premier and stuff like that, you know. And then when I started to like expand my palette more, I got into more producers like Teddy Riley, Pharrell, Timbaland. That's all like Virginia Beach, by the way.
Oh, no doubt.
Which is dope. So those are some of the top guys for me. Currently, I mean, you got to throw Quincy Jones in there, of course, you know.
He goes without saying.
Right. And I was working at my manager Jamal Mobley took me over to Rodney Jerkins' crib in 2019 too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's another big, like, if you think you're doing big things and you go to a house like this, bro, and you got Michael Jackson plaques and Whitney Houston plaques on the wall, and you're just like, you're like, I still got a lot of work to do.
I got a lot of work to do. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah.
Like, dude, there's nothing but plaques in this man's house. It's like incredible.
Wow, Rodney Jerkins, damn.
Yeah, he's a dope one. Jamal also works with Salam Remy. He's a really dope producer. I mean, like Salam did like Nas, Amy Winehouse, so much, like a lot of dope, like early 90s like dance hall kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So like, and he did Fugees too, so he has like a very like, I'm actually into producers that have like a very like eclectic sound now, you know, and it's just a lot of different like world influences, a lot of different cultures. Like that's like really what I'm digging now, you know.
Okay, listen, let me tell you something. There's nothing wrong with that, and I like the answers that you gave because the producers that you name have some dope ass engineers. I'm sorry.
Right.
Every producer you just named have some dope ass engineers.
Right.
My goodness. So yes.
You know what's interesting? Like a full circle. Like a lot of the people that I've got to work with are like full circle moments because it's like that Fatman Scoop record with Frankie. The dude that mastered it, Chris Garinger from Sterling Sound, New York. Yeah, I believe he also did 36 chambers, you know? So that's
what?
Yeah, that's how long the dude like been mastering for. So I'm like,
jeez.
It's crazy, yeah.
I wouldn't even imagine how to master or even mix a RZA song. Like, because
that stuff was so grimy, that basement kind of sound.
Damn.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? Sometimes that's part of the aesthetic. Like,
oh yeah,
like cleaning it up wouldn't even do it justice, you know? That's why people feel like, you know, like when Wu-Tang started like trying to evolve and change their sound, like people didn't like it as much.
Nah,
like,
we didn't.
Yeah, but it was way more polished, you know. So,
it was.
But you see how when you polish it, it takes away from like the aesthetic. You know what I mean?
I really feel in my heart that they wouldn't have been the music wouldn't have been as strong if they would have polished it up.
Right. Exactly.
It really wouldn't. It sounded so gritty.
Right.
You know, it really did. And shout out to Wu-Tang. Shout out to the RZA because that was a master plan.
Oh my God. I admire that story so much and how he got like 10 different artists to stay on track and stay together. Bro, it's hard enough keeping one artist on track.
You can't thank you. You can't even keep one damn artist.
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
10 from the hood at that.
Yep.
From different parts of the hood that was at war. Is you crazy? How is that possible?
It's an incredible story, man.
Incredible story. So you got something coming soon. If I'm not mistaken, what is this right here?
Oh yeah, I'm really happy. That's another. So Dynasty of the King. I don't know. Did you get to look him up?
No, not yet. I just saw this.
Dynasty is a really dope, like Latin reggae artist from New York City, from Brooklyn. Really? Actually, he's from Brooklyn, and Yeah, super dope art, man. He's performed all over the world.
Oh, okay.
Just he's like heavily influenced by, like I said, like 90s dance hall music too, you know. So that's very much like influence of like 90s dance hall, like mixed with like modern dembow kind of stuff. That
Ooh,
yeah.
I need
So
to
it's
hear
like
that.
I'm gonna send you that record before we
Please. Matter
wrap
of
up.
fact,
I should have actually sent it to you before we even
so
started. But
I'm gonna ask you a question. Is this song out yet?
no, that comes out November 3rd, Friday,
Okay, so
November
what?
3rd.
So
Yeah.
Friday, November 3rd. Send me that record, right? What I'll do, I'll put it on 2111 Radio.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Because and send another song that you feel that I would like to have because I need music and I never had a music producer besides hold up. I never had an engineer up here. I had producers up here, but I never had
Right.
an actual mix engineer on my show.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
You're literally the first
Glad
mix
to be the
engineer on
first.
my
Yeah.
show.
That's cool,
Hopefully
man.
it be many because again, a lot of the audience that's in here, they listening to you because you spitting some knowledge and you've been around for a minute.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and we here to celebrate you because ain't nobody gonna talk about no mix engineers or no mastering engineers because
Right.
even though you guys do the bulk of the work, people still not getting it.
Right.
It takes a lot. Y'all already going. The artists already went home, probably in the other room smoking some weed or drinking some liquor.
I'm telling you.
You know what I'm
I'm
saying? By
telling
you sitting at the damn board,
Right.
going crazy. Like, what the hell's going on? Y'all need to get out the room now. Go get.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's an incredible job, and like I said, without mix engineers, this music thing we love will not be the same. Trust me.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, everything in my career like has been like an evolution, you know. So it went from DJing to producing, and then once you start diving deeper into producing, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
you just get into the sonics and the frequencies and what does this do? What does this do? How do I make this sound this way? And like so it just and then it just turned into gradually progressed into engineer too, you know.
Exactly. So now I'm gonna ask you a question. I didn't ask you this question. I do have a question. Did you go to school for this or you just learned on your own?
A combination. So when I was young, like I said, I started buying like vinyl and DJ equipment by the time I was like 13, 14, 15, 16. Then when I went to college, I wanted to go for communications. That's what I was going for. So
Right.
so my intention at that time, I wanted to do radio. So like I felt like what I started thinking to myself, like, I was already like rocking clubs and stuff like that. So I was thinking to
Course.
myself, like, what is the evolution of a DJ? Like how do I up my career and level up as a DJ? You understand what I'm saying? So then I saw that there was only like not too many options. It was like really like do radio or a lot of DJs develop into more like music production.
Yeah.
And so I kind of did both, you know. I explored radio. I tried to get some like internship. I had some meetings at Hot 97 and
Okay.
KTU and stuff like that. I met with like the program directors at the time, and I didn't get the internship. They said I was too confident, too cocky, or something like that.
Yo, that's not the first time I've heard that. That's not the
But
first time.
I mean, like I'm not mad at them, man. Maybe I was a cocky kid or something.
But you know
like,
what? It's just because again, there's nothing wrong with being cocky, man. As long as you can back it up.
dude, it's not. But to keep it real with you, man. By the time I was 18, so I was doing college radio at my university too, Kane University in Union.
Okay.
And so and to be honest with you, man, I was doing. By the time I was 18, man, like I already had opened for like Fat Joe at an event. I was playing in New York City already. I was playing with a lot of DJing with a lot of the Hot 97 DJs. You know what I mean? Like I was in the heavy hitter record pool with like DJ Enough and all the DJ Camilo and all of those guys. And
Yeah,
I was
know
doing,
DJ.
and I was doing all of this by 18. So maybe if I came in to get
Yeah.
the internship, maybe I was a little cocky or something. You know, like
It's okay. Listen,
it is what
I
it
love
is.
that.
You know.
I love that because what I want for my brand. See, I'm the program director here now. If I was gonna do an interview, if you don't have that cockiness, I don't think I would hire you. You understand? Because
I should have had my meeting with you, man. You know,
you would have definitely got hired here because let me tell you something. It takes a lot to do what you do, and the reason I say that is because that cockiness is not cockiness; it's confidence.
Right.
It's confidence, and I want somebody that's confident enough to come in my office and show me that because they should have been hired you. Man, listen, I would have hired you straight off the back because It's a job that you don't have to worry about. If I
Right.
give you a task, okay, you handle this. I don't have to call you 3 or 4 times a day, talk about, hey, Gabe, did you take care of this?
Yeah, people that are proactive and take initiative. Yeah, of course, man.
And
For
you look
sure.
like you take initiative. I don't have to tell you to do anything because you already know what to do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, and like at that time too, it's like we were kids, bro. Like, and trying to make a name for myself, and I'm like running around battling and doing parties and selling
no doubt.
mixtapes, and like we're just running around the streets, dude. Like
Let me
by
tell
that
you
age,
something. When I was a DJ, I'm gonna tell you something. Don't laugh at me, but I never had 1200s. Ever.
Oh, really?
I had the Geminis.
I started on Geminis,
and I had a quarter on top of my needle. I didn't even get the short needles.
Yep. We had to do all that, man. I had to earn. I did get obviously 1200s eventually, but I had to earn my 12s. I started with Geminis,
And what people didn't understand, I was going to other people's houses with their 1200s.
That's exactly how I started, bro.
I couldn't miss. They was like, wait a minute. My brother and them was like, wait a minute, bro. You sound better on those 1200s. I said, I know, because I've been so careful with the Geminis.
Right.
And the 1200s with those short needles was easy. I could do anything.
You went through boot camp, so like, yeah.
Thank you. So
yeah,
it's the battle. When you told me about that, I said, damn, those was the days, yo. Oh,
dude, like, like I was a little kid watching like Juice religiously, like all that stuff. So it's like I grew up like that, like I was literally like buying tapes and cassettes and like CDs and whatever by the time I was 8 years old, man. So like, as far as like my history, everybody always asking me the question, like, how'd you get into music? How'd you make the decision? I was like, dude, I don't really, not to sound like super corny cliche, but like when music chooses you, it's like I've never even done anything else. You know what I mean? So it's like,
exactly. Yes, exactly. So I'm asking you a question. Since you said that, was there anything else that you wanted to do besides music?
Never, not really, man. I'm telling you, as far as back as I could think, 8 years old. It's just like, I've always known music, but I guess my journey is finding like where in music, like once you're in it, you realize music is such a large umbrella, there's many different jobs and occupations. So like when I have like interns and students now, like because I mentor, I have like internship programs. So like that's the main thing I kind of like want to show them, because sometimes they don't, like younger people don't really know what they're asking for. They might think that they want to be a superstar, and it's like, but it's like, it's so much pressure. It's a crazy schedule. It's a wild lifestyle. So they might find that they don't want that. Or maybe you just want to work at a label. Maybe you just want to promote artists. Maybe you want to be an engineer. Maybe you want to be a producer. Maybe you want to be a songwriter. Maybe you just want to be like, like it's so many. So my journey has been like finding my way within all of that,
definitely. And you definitely found your way, because again, you've been playing with some heavyweights. I'm not even gonna lie, and you're gonna continue to do it because you're just getting better. Like,
I appreciate
it. People understand that you started when you were mad young. I can only imagine, like I said, how much time would it take for you to mix a song, like a hit record? Like if
you know what, that totally depends, because you can, dude, there's mixes I've done like in 2 hours, then there's mixes I've done in like 10 hours, and it's like, it really depends on the record, man. Like if the record is very minimal, like very simplistic, and it's recorded really well, and it's a dope producer on it, and I just have to like put those like finishing touches on it, that process is much quicker,
Okay, there you go. See, that's what I'm talking about. And I ran into that a couple of times. It's like, wait a minute, I need a good engineer. I need somebody to be able to mix something, because mastering is really not that surgical.
Right. Mastering is like that finish, the final polish, but there's steps to get. Like I always break it down. Like, first you need a good song, so you need good songwriting, a great performance from the artist, a dope production from a dope producer, and then you pass it to your mix engineer. So because shout out to like Pensado's Place. It's like a YouTube platform basically like dedicated to like highlighting the engineer and stuff like that. But he's also one of my favorite engineers, Dave Pensado. But he said, I remember, like, you can't polish a turd, so like you could so if you, that's his thing, like, so I totally agree with that. So it's like you could if you're sending trash to the best mix engineers in the world, like it's just they're only gonna be able to do but so much with that, And that's
Exactly.
that's one thing that I think like a lot of people need to understand. It starts with the recording, it starts with the performance, it starts with the songwriting, it
Mhm.
starts with the production and the arrangement. Songwriting is like king, you know, melody is king.
Yeah, definitely.
And then when somebody passes you a great song that was recorded well, produced well, arranged well, the artist gave a great performance. Now you send it to, now you invest that money in a real mix engineer, you know, and he'll take it to the
Next
he'll,
level.
yeah, he'll take it to the next level, and then the mastering engineer will put the or
Make
maybe
it
the mix engineer will also master it, but then you could pass it to the third guy who's the
right.
mastering engineer, which I do a lot of the time, you know, when there's like the budget for it.
Okay.
Sometimes I master myself, but if we have bigger budgets, I'll start to like
Excellent.
delegate, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So you can master as well, but sometimes it's according on the budget, basically.
Yeah, yeah, because if they have the budget to delegate and say we're just making an album and they got a couple grand to do that, you know, 10, 20, 50 grand, whatever it is. And so you have the budget to delegate, you know, so you can hire additional mixing engineers, you can hire master engineers, you can hire studio musicians, and it's kind of just like so no one's like completely like overwhelmed, and you can stick to deadlines.
Yeah.
That's something that I talked to Ali about too. He was talking about how at one point when he was like at his hottest, he had like 5 albums due at the same time. And when you're dealing with like major label projects, like imagine having 5 albums due and they're all major label projects, so millions of dollars on the line, and
Spread it out.
everybody needs their stuff. You know what
You
I'm
got to
saying?
spread it out. You got to delegate, like you said.
Yeah, dude. So like even if you might not even be able to pull that off, even if you are working 14-hour days, you know,
Yeah.
like so it's
Exactly.
like you need a team of people, and that's how I'm able to like do so much. You know, I could be working on 4 or 5 records in a week, and it's like, you know, I have my guy EJ who helps a lot. I have my guy Paulo, who's like a mentor of mine. He's another Brazilian guy. He lives down in Miami.
Okay.
Paulo Javot, and he has Grammys in Brazil. He has a Grammy here in America. So he had Grammys in 2 countries, but he's like the most humble dude on earth. So I
Wow.
always make sure I shout him out, you know.
No doubt. No doubt.
Um,
No doubt.
but he's like one of
Shit.
my mentors, and he another fantastic mix engineer. So sometimes we're all just like passing records back and forth, you know, like
Yeah. No doubt.
getting everything done.
But you know what the funny part was? I don't know if you've seen my face. I know the people that's in here saw my face. You said 50,000 for a budget like it was nothing, and I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, what do you mean? So when he said 50, right? Y'all don't understand. The budget is much bigger. He just gave that as a little example.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
what-
Also, that's not what you pocket, right? It's just
Yeah.
like when an artist gets signed, they have an album budget, right?
Mhm.
And the album budget that has to go to music videos, that has to go to producers, engineers, writers, session musicians, all of that, you know.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And you know, my thing is, like I said, music has changed so much, so drastically. The business,
Absolutely.
because you don't see $1 million video no more because they
Right.
got dope ass cameras now that you can just do a video probably with 2 cameras, if that one.
Absolutely. That's
You know?
even if people are watching the video like that, you know, like back in the day we had like MTV and
Ooh, oh yeah,
BET and Video Music Box, and people used to
Yeah.
sit around and actually
all
like,
day look at the newest videos.
yeah,
Exactly.
and I really appreciate the videos, you know.
They don't even do that too much. Everybody's worrying about streams and internet, and
Yeah.
you know, your video basically be paying on TikTok or
Right.
Instagram. So you know,
I wanted to ask you a question. What do you think about? I've been seeing this for like the past few weeks about hip hop sales being down 40%.
they are. Oh
Yeah,
yes.
and I also, I don't know if this is accurate, but I read that for the first time in 30 years, hip hop hasn't had like a #1 record.
Not really. No. Hip
Like,
hop.
what happened this year? Like, what's going on? What do
You know what it
What's
is?
your opinion on this?
Verses happen.
Versus?
Verses happen. People starting to appreciate the music that was before what's happening now, and they don't want to hear it no more.
Oh wow,
People
that's
start
an interesting take, man.
because
Yeah.
think about this.
So it was
all-
it was introducing like a new generation to like all this older catalog, basically.
And now it's sounding like trash.
Oh, that's you, dude. That's a valid point. I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, because verses, if you think about it, they was bringing guys from way back in the days. There was the youngest guy to ever be on verses, if I'm not mistaken, is Rick Ross
Wow.
and 2 Chainz.
Wow.
So
Right.
if you think about it, a lot of that music that they was listening to from 2000 was getting destroyed on this verses because of the pandemic. You couldn't go out. You couldn't go to these little concerts they was having all over the place.
Right. Yeah, people are doing like virtual concerts and stuff. Yeah,
You had to literally sit now in the home and listen. They actually got a chance to listen to the quality of music
right.
that was before them. It's like, wait a minute, hold up, this is hot. And now when they hear the trash, I don't want to even stream that. I'm not buying that. And that's another thing. You really don't buy music anymore. You just stream it.
Right.
Because
A good friend of mine. That's a shout out to Gamma. He signed to Neo. He works down there in Atlanta, but he was originally signed to Teddy Riley. So Teddy Riley is like his uncle. They're like family. So he talks to Teddy all the time, and Teddy was telling him about how like the verses helped him with like his like resurgence.
yes,
And it's like, dude, you guys don't know who Teddy Riley is? Like,
unbelievable.
bro, like everything that like Bruno Mars, like all this stuff that you're listening to is like influenced by all these guys. But it's just everything is like even pop radio. Like, dude, you listen to pop radio, it's like Dua Lipa's doing disco, Bruno Mars doing 70s soul, the Weeknd's doing 80s music. So it's like this has always been around, but I don't think the younger generation understands that or appreciates that, you know. But maybe verses like expose that and show them that, you know.
Yeah, because it's more lyrical now, especially the hip hop. Come on, that when Dipset went up against the Locks, oh my goodness, that was one of the greatest view versus there was. And then the hip hop heads start listening, like, wait a minute, we missed this,
right?
We missed this. All the blibber blabber with the Migos, and they're a good group. Don't get it twisted, but no. That's not hip hop,
bro. My favorite verses, I don't know. Nobody agree. I had two favorite verses, and this is gonna show you how like and this is like before my time, but I still like appreciate it because I'm such like a golden era hip hop.
No doubt.
Yeah, that's like mid to late 80s, early 90s is like again that's before my time. I was a little kid, but like when I dig, like I'm a DJ and a producer, so like I dig through the times, like I go back. So my two favorite verses were like probably the KRS one and Big Daddy Kane one, and then as far as producers, bro, the Premier and RZA. Like I felt like a little kid watching that. Yeah. I felt like a little kid watching that. That was dope. Yeah,
that was a dope verses, and people forgot about those classics that Premier did.
Like when you do like as far as like that New York hip hop boom bap kind of sound, like he's like the god of that.
And one of the best DJs to ever do it too. People still don't understand, still doing it.
Right.
Doing it. Him and Scratch is still performing.
Absolutely, I'm sure like overseas they're packing. You know what I mean? Like God knows how many people. Yeah.
I don't know if people understand that when a lot of the big artists start coming on the verses, they was actually the DJs.
Right.
Like unbelievable. I'm sitting there like Premier's here, and then you got Scratch over there because they know they're gonna get a great performance regardless. And
right.
So, but it's something about older music. It just like R&B is kind of dead in a way. It's kind of hip hop still has some life. Somebody hit the hip hop RIP to hip hop. No, it's okay. I think that shit.
That's my wife. That's my wife.
Right? she been up here. She said RIP hip hop because we still all right. We all right as long as, like I said, like this
hip hop, bro. Hip hop will it
will always be.
Always be my first love. It's why I became a DJ. DJing will always be my first love. Like no matter what, I evolve into. Like it's always like at its core, it's gonna be hip hop. It's gonna be DJing.
Exactly. I was a hermit. I ain't gonna lie. My mother and them used to tell me to get out the room, go outside.
Absolutely. I used to be like scratching for like 5 hours a day, like straight up. Like
as soon as I came home from school, I didn't even realize it was time to go to bed. My mother, hey, what are you doing?
Right.
I got this mix. I have it. I'm on this. We used to use the cassette tapes. You can't stop. If you got a mix going, you can't just stop it. You got to keep going. I got this mix, and it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. She was like, "No, you cannot do this." And I'm like, "Oh, come on."
Dude, I'll do you. When I was a teenager, I used to have we started like burning CDs, like mixtape CDs. So what I had was like all the instruments. So like I said, I was in like these record pools, and I would get all the singles, and the singles For those of you that don't know, the singles had like the instrumental, the acapella,
Yes, it
everything
did.
else on it, right? So I had all like the hottest instrumentals.
Wow.
So I had the 2 turntables set up, the techniques hooked up to the CD burner, and I had like 1 mic. And it just got popular in the area, like all the surrounding area, like Newark, Elizabeth, Hillside, Irvington. Like, I don't know if you know much about like Jersey sections,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
like teenagers from all those towns used to come to my crib and basically like line up to rap. So somewhere, I don't know, there's like CDs with like 10 people rapping back to back to back, and they're like from all over Jersey. And this is what I was doing in high school, man. Like,
Ciphers. Just
straight
starting
up,
ciphers.
straight up in my house. Like, you know, my mom's probably just looking like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah, let me tell you something. Like I said, we have so much in common. That's so crazy. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm supposed to be doing a damn interview, and we just going back and forth.
Oh yeah, we went over an hour, I think. Man.
Yeah, it's over an hour. But
yeah,
it's one thing that I remember, and I wanted to tell you about is that I remember when hip hop really kind of originated, and it started. They said it started in the Bronx, and everybody said it started in the history books or whatever they got. Started in the Bronx. It didn't start in the Bronx.
Really?
I'm 57 years old, bro. It didn't start.
What's your opinion on that then?
It started in Brooklyn.
Really?
Yeah, it literally started in Brooklyn. But what happened? He was the first one to bring it outside.
Right. Because they said, because I heard of dudes like Flowers and Hollywood and stuff.
Flowers.
Where were those dudes?
They was from Fort Greene Projects in Brooklyn.
Gotcha. So that's where you're originally from?
I'm from Brooklyn.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
cool.
But they wasn't bringing stuff outside. It was more in-house stuff, like house parties.
Right.
He was literally the first one to actually bring it outside, and people saw it.
Where like everyone can come. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they said, you know what? Let's let him. And at the end of the day,
somebody was also saying that he was credited for like also the event. Like he made sure all 4 elements were present. So that's what kind of like made it a hip hop event. I don't know if like
you
know what I mean. Like so,
he kind of organized it to a point
know.
where it's a hip hop event and had guys rapping. But
I wasn't there, but I do. I mean, like I've been studying this thing my whole. I literally have books in my like the oral the history of oral history of hip hop. Like
unbelievable
rap anthology. Like I have all these books in my house. That's like the history of hip hop. But there's nothing like being there. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, hell no. It's not like being in it. It's been a ride. 50 years, y'all. 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years of hip hop. I had a lot of the artists up here, but the one that I remember that I had up here was Cujo Goody from the Goody Mob. Wow. Now, Cujo Goody, the Goody Mob is still doing their thing, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
They still doing their thing, and he came up here so humble, man. I appreciated him because now we friends. I literally talk to this man like twice a week. Like he's one of the most down to earth people, and you know, I heard LL telling this guy, I forgot who he was, saying that all the old school hip hop artists that supposedly created it is bums.
I don't even get into that type of
and
stuff.
I'm like, whoa, what are you talking about? So LL was like, it doesn't matter if you had one song.
No other genre like disrespects their legend like that, bro.
Like hip hop, my goodness, unbelievable.
Well, technically, Jimi Hendrix died broke. Like they said, his accountant was like screwing him over. So it's like, well, what are you gonna take that away from? Oh, Jimi Hendrix ain't Jimi Hendrix because he didn't have money when he died. Like, I don't even think about it. I think more like. I respect like everyone's like contribution to culture, and like that's what's important, you know.
And that's
like moving the music forward, you know, like and like again really contributing to culture, you know. Like I really appreciate that.
And there's so many people that's out here. That's why people don't understand. Made this thing called Rock the Bells Radio, where you listen to it,
dude, on Sirius XM. That's probably my favorite station on Sirius XM, straight up. Like.
It's crazy because Rock the Bells have all the old school DJs and rappers.
Dude, and playing like these 80s hip hop records that you would never hear anywhere else.
Forgot all about. You literally forgot all about. Yeah. I had Rampage up here, and he started rapping on my show, like literally rapping because he's a DJ now, but he actually kind of forgot that he was a rapper in a way. So when he came up here, I couldn't stop him. He was just going and going and going because I was playing his old music. And it gave him something that was like, yo, bro, he told me I appreciate you because I kind of forgot about all that shit. You understand? And sometimes we all get lost in our own little world.
again, it go. I really like it goes. Like I'm really big on KRS-One stuff. Like it really goes back to like those four elements, right? And I don't sing, I don't rap, and I'm not the best dancer. So like I got in where I fit in. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I
Yeah,
started DJing, I started producing, I started engineering, contributing how
and
I
that's
can
what you did,
contribute. You know?
and you definitely contributed. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
So listen, I'm gonna let you go because I could sit here and talk to you for hours, yo, for real. Because this conversation, just I'm supposed to be an interview, it came into just a straight conversation about me.
Yeah, because when we start getting into like music history and culture,
Ooh,
bro,
Lord.
I could go all day.
Me
I could
too,
go
but
all
I'm gonna
day.
definitely
Yeah.
what I want to do, if you can, the artist that made this song that you're gonna put on 21 Level Radio, is it possible you could come with him on 21 Level Radio?
Dynasty?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So
It's good.
we're gonna hook
Cool
that
beat.
up. Give me an email, give me the music or whatever, his bio or whatever, and I have both of y'all come back.
Yeah, I'll send you his info and
Yeah,
send you the track. Yeah.
definitely because I like what you're doing. You're mentoring people, you're producing people. You understand? That's hard to do for what you do. I don't even know how you find time to do it. The mentoring. I don't understand.
Like I said, 14-hour days, man,
See,
sometimes, you know. So it's like, and I have two kids, so it's like, yeah.
and two kids. Stop
Yep.
playing. Come on, man. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought all jokes aside, I see your wife in the car. Hi, Miss Gomez. But I'm thinking all the engineers really don't have so much time. Like you definitely make time.
Yeah, yeah. I make time. I make time, man. I make time. You got to make time for family, you know.
Yeah,
I always keep that
definitely.
first, and it's like I thank God I have like an understanding wife that
Yes,
like
she is. Yes.
when I'm in the studio for 14, 16 hours or on the other side of the country, it's still like
Listen, happy wife, happy life. I'm telling you,
right,
right?
right.
You're doing something right because she's been in here since we started. She literally been in here, and I've been
Yeah.
putting her up here every time she said hi. Yeah, so what I'll do, I'm gonna sign off right now, but I'm gonna talk to Gabe in the back just a little bit because I have something to ask him. I have something to ask you behind the scenes, but this been a dope conversation. I'm glad International Nova talked
Yeah,
about
shout out to Nova, man. His album should be hopefully we're wrapping it up soon. Hopefully it comes out
He
like I don't
is completely an amazing person. Like
we have so many like dope records and dude, we started that process in 2018, 2019. I went to his crib and we made records for this album ready. So like
what?
some of my favorite records that he got right now, yeah, we made in like 2019, man. And it's like it's been like an ongoing, yeah, because you know, like COVID, we kind of essentially like everybody lost like 2 years, kind of.
At least.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like now we're picking back up, and he wants to add more records to that. That's why I went to his crib a couple weeks ago. He wanted to add a couple more records to the final album, or you know, like when he wants to have more than enough material. So when you're at like 20, 25 songs, then you
break
chop
it down.
Yeah, yeah, and just
That's what you're supposed to do.
yeah, take the best of the best, you know. So that's
But
kind of like where we're at.
Before you go, I want to know about Coast to Coast
TV.
Yeah, Coast to Coast TV. Talk about that.
All right, so that's something I also started during the pandemic. Like I got into online teaching, you know, like again, I was already like teaching and mentoring, but I wanted to do it online. So common questions that I got from like students working one-on-one, like one-on-one with students, I started to like narrow it down to like common problems, common questions that like a lot of like starting up and coming producers, audio engineers have. So like I want to dedicate the channel to that, like focusing on that. I kind of like already wrote my like first book that I just finished that it's probably gonna be on Amazon soon. But again, it all pertains to that, like helping, like starting.
Look at the wife. Look at the wife.
She's already promoting it.
See?
We don't have a link yet.
She is. Let me tell you. You know who you need to talk to for that book?
What's up?
Melinda Santiago. Melina
Oh,
Santiago.
yeah. I actually work. You know what's crazy? Small world, man. Like I got this Happy Jack Records hat on. Shout out to Sam Koch. But small world. So I worked on that first record for Happy Jack.
Yeah,
and I'm already working on Nova. And then I find out Melinda also manages Kanja.
Yes, she does.
Which is the first artist that Happy Jack signed.
Yes.
So then it's just small world, you know. And then they start hitting me up like, "Oh, Nova and Kanja need a record together," and I'm like, "What?" Like
Speaking of that, yes, those songs is literally on 2111 Radio. Like all those artists you just named is on the top 30. I'm top 20.
Wow.
Every single one of them. That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
She has a publishing company, so if you think about it,
Oh, really?
she has
I didn't know that.
book
That's
publishing
what's up.
company.
Yeah, that's
So
what's up.
definitely talk to her because I have a
Yeah,
couple.
I'll reach out. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, definitely. I want to hit.
That's actually what I'm like looking into now, like the best way to
She's the best
distribute
person.
it. You know?
She's the best person for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's
Definitely
what's
one
up.
of the good people. But yeah, listen, it's been a pleasure, brother. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you for having me. I appreciate it, man.
you one of the, like I said, very interesting person, and I got a lot of knowledge and a lot of information from you as far as in your career. Like this is crazy. It's been dope.
Thank you, man.
I'm gonna talk to him back because I have a question for him. But y'all, everybody else, I appreciate everybody. It was actually 125 people up in here earlier. It dwindled down, but it was literally 120 something, 129 if I'm not mistaken.
Well, we got into our music history rants and everybody started.
It was over. Yeah, it was over. But listen, y'all have a good night, and I'm gonna definitely sign out. But you stay right there because you're gonna see it go off, and then I'll come back to you. All right.
All right, cool.
All right, y'all have a good night. Peace.